For nearly a century, humans were undeniably getting smarter. Every new generation consistently boasted a higher IQ than their parents. The reason was simple: better understanding of good nutrition, combined with easier access to education, helped new brains develop more fully. But right around the year 2000, that upward trend slammed into a wall. In advanced nations like Norway, Denmark, and the UK, IQ scores didn't just stop rising, they actually started dropping. Interestingly, the cause wasn't genetics, because human DNA doesn't evolve that quickly. The culprit is much simpler: a dramatic change in our environment and lifestyle. And the most profound environmental shift of the last 2 decades is sitting right there in the palm of your hand. We have officially transitioned from an environment that demanded physical engagement and deep, focused thought into one oversaturated with instant distraction. Try reflecting on this yourself. Have you ever been zoning out, maybe waiting in line, and your hand automatically reaches for your pocket just to check your phone? There were no notifications, no urgent calls. You just wanted to kill the boredom. Or worse, you planned to be asleep by 10 p.m., but a quick 5-minute scroll through TikTok somehow turned into 2 a.m. This phenomenon is now widely known as brain rot. It describes the constant, relentless need for small, instant stimuli, and the accompanying profound anxiety or restlessness that sets in whenever we feel bored. While the term started as an internet meme, medically, this condition is very real and deeply concerning. We live in a world where it is terrifyingly easy to find a young child throwing a tantrum without a tablet, or an adult visibly panicking because they forgot their phone at home. This isn't just a bad habit, it is systematic damage to the operating system of your brain, slowly eroding the most foundational human skill, the ability to focus. Focus is the bedrock of every decision we make in life. When our focus fails, we become anxious, our critical thinking declines, and our ability to make sound decisions gets severely blunted. The longer this goes unaddressed, the harder it becomes to recover. Be honest with yourself. Just a few seconds into this video, did your thumb already start twitching, wanting to scroll to the next thing, or did you speed up the playback to 2 times the speed? If so, please hold that urge. That is the exact reason you need to stick with this video until the end, because we're going to break down why our reasoning power is being chipped away and how to fix a brain that has already succumbed to brain rot. Statistics show that the global average for screen time now hovers around 6 hours per day staring at a device. And remember, that's just the average. Many of us are dealing with a much worse situation, logging 8, 10, or 12 hours dedicated purely to rapid scrolling. While you might have heard the popular, slightly misleading claim that our focus span is now shorter than a goldfish's, the actual facts are alarming enough. In 2004, a professor from the University of California found that the average person could focus on a screen for a decent 2 to 3 minutes. In his latest research, detailed in the book Attention Span, that number has plummeted to just 47 seconds. Imagine that, in less than 20 years, human focus capacity dropped by nearly 70%. The negative impact doesn't stop at focus, it's structurally changing our brains. Research has found that excessive internet usage can actually cause shrinkage in a key area of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. This is the section responsible for self-regulation and ensuring we don't act impulsively. When this area shrinks, we become more impulsive, unable to stop scrolling or frequently hitting checkout on online shopping carts as if we had endless money. This issue is rooted in how frequently our focus jumps. We open WhatsApp, then quickly check Instagram, maybe scroll TikTok for a minute, then immediately switch back to a work email, and so on. We assume our brain is a high-powered computer capable of complex multitasking. The reality is that neurologically, the human brain is a single core processor. We are not multitasking, we are rapid task switching, meaning we rapidly transition our attention from one thing to the next. We have normalized this constant switching, even calling it productive. Unfortunately, the more frequently we shift our attention in short bursts, the slower the brain becomes at truly processing information. One professor from the University of London found that constant, rapid multitasking can reduce your effective IQ by 10 points. That's a cognitive effect similar to someone who stayed awake all night. We have stopped focusing on single objects. Our brains are now deeply conditioned to the instant dopamine rush we receive from social media. We are constantly feeding the mind with short-form, high-tempo content that is often informationally explosive, yet contextually empty or useless. As a result, the brain becomes spoiled, addicted to instant gratification. Whatever we want, we expect to get it immediately. So, when you try to force your brain to sit down and read a long book, listen to a detailed lecture, or work on a report requiring deep thought, your brain rebels. It feels anxious, overwhelmingly bored, and immediately seeks the fastest, easiest escape, the phone. If this habit continues, our cognitive abilities will decline, we will lose our capacity for deep thinking, and ultimately, our quality of life will suffer. Fortunately, the damage caused by brain rot is not permanent. Our brain possesses a quality called neuroplasticity, meaning it can change and repair itself if consistently trained. The path to recovery isn't easy, though. It requires you to actively step out of your comfort zone to truly reset your mind. The key to healing from brain rot is breaking the old, destructive patterns by following these steps. First, quiet the morning hour. Most of us wake up and immediately reach for our phones, checking notifications, scrolling messages, or browsing social media without even thinking. When we instantly scroll first thing in the morning, our brain enters a reactive mode from the moment we wake up. You are allowing the outside world to immediately dictate your mood and attention for the entire day. You haven't even brushed your teeth, but your brain is already processing anxiety over political news, insecurity over someone else's success on social media, or sadness over a viral story. The mental energy you need to tackle your goals for the day is wasted reacting to external factors you have zero control over. Starting tomorrow, take this challenge. For the first 60 minutes after you wake up, do not touch your phone. Let your mind and consciousness slowly recover. Enjoy the moment of quiet reflection, drink some water, practice a short moment of prayer or mindfulness, or do some light exercise. The key is allowing your brain to awaken calmly and gradually. Second, do everything with intent. Our biggest challenge is often not laziness, but simply not knowing what to do. When we are still for a moment, we feel bored and look for an escape. As a result, our autopilot takes over, leading us to our default behavior, which is usually scrolling. Unfortunately, checking the phone usually isn't a short activity. The intention was to fill a momentary void, but it spirals out of control. This happens because we lack a specific, clear intention. Next time you feel that void, fill it with a specific intent. For example, I am opening my phone only to check my email. I will read 2 news articles, or I will browse social media for exactly 10 minutes. Use a timer if necessary to clearly define when you must stop. This sounds simple, but the impact is profound, because clarifying your intention immediately shuts down your brain's autopilot function. Third, consume media correctly. If you constantly watch videos at double speed or skip parts you find boring, you are training your brain to be impatient. You prioritize finishing quickly over deep understanding. Cal Newport, in his book Deep Work, advises that we must train our brains by consuming media the right way. Try watching long-form video essays that force you to think. Listen to long podcasts or read physical books without skipping sections. Even better, try consuming nothing at all occasionally. When you are walking somewhere or waiting in line, don't immediately open your phone. Embrace the boredom and the moment of silence. Sometimes, in those quiet, boring moments, our creativity is finally allowed to kick in. Fourth, read a book. And we mean truly reading a book, not just skimming a caption or description on Instagram. You need to practice deep reading. Deep reading is fundamentally different from the skimming we typically do online. Deep reading increases the connectivity between neurons in your brain, and that effect lasts for days after you finish reading. If scrolling is like eating fast food, tasty but zero nutritional value, reading a book is like eating a lean steak, chewy but packed with protein. Reading a book is weightlifting for the brain, forcing you to focus on a single point, stringing together complex thoughts, and visualizing the narrative. It is the true antithesis of fast, instant, overly visual scrolling. Fifth, practice mindfulness meditation. Don't imagine you have to sit cross-legged on a mountaintop for 2 hours like a movie monk. It's much simpler. Meditation is purely the practice of full focus on the present moment. Often, our body is in one location, but our mind is drifting elsewhere. Mindfulness trains the mind to synchronize with the body's current state. For beginners, the process is simple. First, choose one object to focus on. The easiest is your own breath or a physical sensation, like clenching your fist. Second, set a timer. Start with just 5 minutes. Third, your sole task for those 5 minutes is to pay attention to your breathing. During this time, your mind will inevitably wander. You'll suddenly remember a debt, think about an ex, or find yourself wanting to sing a viral song. When this happens, it is completely normal. The key is that the moment you realize your mind has wandered, gently pull your attention back to your breath. That process of conscious return is like doing a repetition at the gym. Each time you bring your focus back, you are strengthening your attention muscle. The more you train it, the better you become at self-control and resisting distraction. Friends, focus is not a given, it is a muscle that must be trained. In this incredibly noisy world, the ability to sit still, concentrate, and complete one thing is a distinguishing trait. If you feel your brain performance is slow, sluggish, or suffering from brain rot, do not surrender to it. It is not fate. It is a habit, and habits can be changed. You might still ask, why should we bother with these boring habits? What's the harm in having a short attention span? The harm is that the best things in life require duration and depth. Imagine having a genuine, heart-to-heart conversation with a loved one. If your attention is shot, you will not truly be able to be present and enjoy that moment, because your mind will be drifting, or your hand will be itching for a gadget because you feel bored. Fixing brain rot isn't just about becoming more productive, it's about reclaiming your ability to enjoy life by fully experiencing its best moments. It would be a profound shame if your one precious life were spent only watching other people's filtered success stories on a screen.